Oh, hello YouTube, it's been a while. It's Paul here again. Just got some a new arrival which I'd like to share with you. So on the bench today I've got the Bird watt meter. I have my small dummy load for 10 watts. I have my code oscillator, my battery source, and I have the portable frequency counter. Most of my gear's still all packed away after the move, so I'm just struggling to set things up. So need to get stuck into this GE which has just arrived, and we will go over it. Alright, so first of all I suppose there's the cosmetics. It's not a bad looking radio. This is before any detail by myself. The covers look in good condition, as does the rear. Alright, so the purpose of today is let's try and start it up and check RX and TX. Alright, okay, so we turn that on. Frequency counter comes on. Alright. High and low works. CBPA works. For those who are not familiar with the A model, one of the big differences is the font that they use on the mode selector. Secondly, the three switches along the top panel are rocker switches, they're not slide switches. You've got to be very careful with these as they've always been prone to break. And that's one of the reasons GE went to the slide panels. Now, even though these front fascias look the same as a GE B model, they actually aren't. These holes are not as elongated as a B model, and they're a bit lower. So the B model front panel or tins do not fit on the A model. Secondly, the correct knobs are as per here. The knobs, the knurling on the B model, they're a lot more pronounced on the knobs. And that's about it. Sorry, the end colours on these are slightly deeper red, but on the B model with the slide switches, it takes over the full circle. It doesn't have any aluminium showing. This one obviously looks like we've got a blown meter light. We're on a dummy load, as I said earlier. It's a 40 channel. It's not original. Originally these were Australian 18. Alright, so we're going to put it into AM. Alright, oh, we've got TX 26965. Let's do a... Okay, we've got TX. Okay, on a 500 watt slug, which is the top scale, we're showing about 10 watts. Okay, that's good. 40. Yep, we're looking good there. Right, so we'll do a frequency check. That's perfect. Okay, we want 100 Hertz too high. That'll get picked up in a tune. So it's looking quite good. Alright, let's get the covers off and look inside. Alright, covers are off. Now we're going through this in real time, so I'm looking through the camera as I review the circuit board just like you. So we take you on this journey as to what it's like just to restore these radios and look for little surprises. Okay, so if we go across here, all the original wave soldering looks like intact. We've had some work over here in the DC filtering stage. That's the impedance transformer. So it looks like somebody's replaced a ceramic at one point. We're looking through here. No. And then we come up with this awful stuff that shouldn't be there. So we have a diode, 2 green wires. Do you see that? Oh, just in there. Instead of fixing the original lamp or putting an LED in, somebody has attempted to do a small wafer light to fix the display. Oh well, it's a lot easier to just plug that into the original power source. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the soldering iron out and we'll just see if we can we'll get the lighting correct first. Whenever you pull a GE apart, they've got the green and yellow wires. All I generally do is do something to mark it doesn't necessarily have to be the ground. So I've coated the cover here in black and black here, just so that you know what way they go back together, but it's not rocket science. The power one goes to the center cone and the non-power goes to the outside cone. Alright, might as well we'll just remove those. Let's have a look here. Oh, this all looks in. This channel selector is one of the nicest I've seen in a long time. It looks really good. That was the area right there. Where was it? It was, yeah, on that side where the capacitor's been changed. But everything looks good. Okay, let's replace this light. Basically what I'm going to do is remove the green wires that the other person's put in, and there's a wire to the bulb down there. So what I'm going to do is dismantle the front panel and pull the meter out and then do work on it. Okay, so I've removed all these small M2s, I think they are, screws from, there's 6 of them, from the top and bottom front panel. The channel selectors are always generally hard to get off, so it's a matter of pulling this forward slightly and then with both hands gently pulling this forward, and it will remove the channel selector. And just like that, it's off. It feels like this has probably never been removed. Alright, so we'll get this off. Okay, I'm going to go and soak this in a solution. We remove the felts, put those in my mix. So when I'm pulling a radio apart, I have my degreaser formula here. And I just put everything into that. So over the course of the repair, the last thing I do is scrub the knobs in the front panel after I've obviously deoxed all of this, or try to anyway. I don't know where my deox is, so This is very typical, owned by a smoker. You see all the nicotine stains on the knobs, on the switches. You'll see all of that come off, and it will also come off the items in the solution. There we go. All right. So what are we going to do now? We're going to remove these two screws. It allows this meter, which is held in place, to pull backwards, and then we'll work on the replacement. All right, these screws from the holding the meter in, you need to get the right screwdriver to fit into these, or else you're just going to round them over. And a technique, when you're removing them, you can see the red on the top, they've got Loctite on them. You really do have to push hard on them whilst you turn. And then once they free up, you just keep a light pressure on and then remove them. Most radios that I've bought, you can see when people have worked on them. And I'll just remove this and you can have a look. See, no damage at all from that technique. All right, with the meter out, we can see a bit more of the hokey pokey. See this? It's just hot melted or Celastic to the top. They've taken the, what have they done here? Oh, they've taken a wire from the on and off switch and then run to ground with the diode so there's no feedback. When all you have to do is replace that there, and then all I do is I just unclip them, cut and run a wire from there to there with a LED on it. All right. Let's get to fixing. Okay, that's the lamp that I'm choosing to go with. It's just a warm white, using a 330 ohm resistor, and they're the 3mm LEDs, not 5. You can use 5, they fit in, but these are a lot nicer finish. Okay, wires soldered on and the resistors soldered on. About to put heat shrink on now. Okay, LED is in, works, just confirming that now. So I will now fit that into the meter and slide it up into the back slot. And there we go, that's what it looks like. And we've got the numbers. All right, I'll now start reassembly. All right, so that's back in. It's actually a bit yellower than what I had expected, but it's in line with the original GE colour. One thing I must mention is these two screws here which hold the clamp in, behind there you need to make sure that the power wires and signal meter wires are not coming down and being clamped up against the body of the meter. I've seen many times people have put these back. This is just a newbie, you know, if you haven't worked on a Cybernet Mark 1 chassis, behind here you need to route the wires down in between the bracket. Alright, so I'm at the stage where I'm going to clean this with aluminium metal polish, the plastic display here. Also clean up this area of the flux that I desoldered and removed all the cocky poo soldering and just made it look factory. So I'm going to clean the IPA stuff first, clean all the knobs and switches here with IPA, get rid of the nicotine, and then get ready to polish and then refit then go and clean the front fascias. Okay, front panel's done. Polished out any scratches, cleaned the switches, polished out a couple of scratches on the LED display, got rid of all of the lint and other things on the potentiometers. This is ready to go back and reassemble. There we go. Okay, I've detailed this front panel, if you can remember the condition of it when it came in. Sometimes grime is your best friend because it does protect the panel. This is very, very dirty, and look at it now. I've done a cut and polish on the front LED display. Now you do have to watch this because these are printed, and if you're using a cutter it will thin the print out. But on this one, I think I was it looks like I'm the first to clean it. So all the edges have come up, all the muck's out of it. This area here traps the nicotine, that's all gone. These have polished up, just incredible. So I'll start the process to put this back on, and I will show you when I've done that. Just a note, when you're putting the front cover back on, some people over tighten these, they're very easy to do, and the lugs just snap. So it's just finger tight, because you're just holding that panel on, and the covers hold the screws in for whatever reason if they ever came loose. Just want to show you something. This is quite rare. This is the inside of the cabinet. It was full of dust, but after cleaning it, there's no rust. Very, very rare. And the covers came up really well. I didn't have to go through and use any of my techniques to soak overnight. The only marks you see is just the water drying. This is the speaker side. I've replaced these screws with original OEM looking screws. And again, there's only a tiny bit of pitting down here, which is just I haven't seen that before. Well, good, we'll start putting the covers back on. Alright, this is about to conclude. Brand new screws on the outer case, down the side, replace the original ones, so just worn from sitting on the tops off. I have not restored this mic yet. New screws down the side, polished the mic hanger, that was all pitted and dirty. I will just leave that down. And this is the radio. Alright, give you a really good close-up. I'll turn it on now. It's got to be one of the best looking A model GEs that I've seen in many years. I've got a couple of nice ones, but there's no marks really on the face. No pitting from moisture at all. Just a tiny, really fine amount of marks on the volume. All the knobs polished up well, all the nicotine came out of them. That took about half an hour. There's still a bit of work to do on those, but this is a, what is it? It's been a 2.5 hour project, and I'm really, really happy in that. And there you go. comment, like and subscribe, because it really does help the hobby. Sorry for this being a long one, but I wanted to show you what it was all about. I'm just going to dissect that hodgy-podgy wire stuff and see what this is at the end. It should be a one end something or other. Okay, that's what was under the heat shrink. I was wrong. No diode to ground. Very, very weird. So somebody's put the resistor on the ground for the light. So that works out at about 82 ohms. It's grey, red, black, silver. Oh dear. One would have thought if they had enough knowledge to use a resistor, and they would have spent the extra 10 minutes and done it properly and just replaced the meter bulb itself. Well, there you go. Comment, like and subscribe, and this one's going on display. Love it, love it. Thank you.